All right. Hey there. Good evening for me, which is weird because usually I stream in the mornings. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. And wanted to finish it up with building, hopefully, the rest of the God Gundam that we started so long ago, but I have not worked on at all. Since I said I was only going to build it on stream, and I haven't been able to stream for like 2 weeks or something. So it has remained in this state, missing arms and a head. And we'll take care of that right now. So I made myself a very large chai tea, iced, and I think that's it. I'm ready to go. Except I need nippers. All right, do we want instructions over there, or maybe I'll just put them down here on the desk? That way you can see what we're working on. And it is going to be arms right here next. Been so long that I've forgotten what the runners, like which letter is which color. I haven't looked at these parts in such a long time. Oh, I think also, because it's been such a long time, there's some new stuff on the stream. So like right down there is a little rotating showcase of trending builds over at gunplagallery.com. So if you see something down there that looks interesting, you can jump over in your web browser to gunplagallery.com and find it there and probably see more pictures. Usually when people post things there, they post more than just one photo. So I show one photo down there, but there's probably a lot more to look at if you're interested in that sort of thing. And I'm going to build these two arms simultaneously here because it looks like, at least for a little while here, the upper arm and the elbow joint at least is the same between the two sides. If you're in the US and you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. My family did. We still have leftovers, as I guess it's probably the tradition, right? So lots of turkey and potatoes and other things to still eat over the next couple of days, probably. Looks like there are some nice stickers here to go on these two round little detail areas here on the elbow joints. I'm not going to put them on, as is the case with all stickers on my snap builds, because eventually, someday, I will disassemble and paint this kit. So don't want to use the stickers, and probably will end up using water slide decals. Actually, I think I bought the water slide decals for this kit already. Sometimes I do that when I get the kit. Sometimes I look for them later on. Pretty sure. Yeah, I don't have them right there, but somewhere around here, I think I have the water slides for this kit. Oh, hey, thanks. You mean in my Etsy shop? Yeah, that Shinmusha I built, I don't know, it was a long time ago. It must have been like 4 years ago now or something. Most of those kits that I have listed up on Etsy are my older builds. And I've had them here in my display case long enough that I decided if somebody else wants them, I don't mind, getting rid of them. So, yeah, that's my criteria for deciding what to list on the Etsy shop versus what I'm keeping. But yeah, that was a fun one. I remember doing like some kind of special thing on its beam rifle, right? Because it looks like an old, like wood grain type. It looks like an old musket, basically. So I took the plastic, which came in just plain brown, and I think I used like either a broken screwdriver or some other sharp object that was like sharp but also rough. Like it wasn't designed for the purpose I used it for. And I like carved out basically the shape of wood grain patterns in that rifle, and did a bunch of detailing on it to try to make it look like wood. I don't remember if I ever posted photos of that on my own page at Gunpla Gallery. Let me go look real quick. If I could remember my password there. Yeah, you'd think on my own website I could remember the password that I use, but no, not today. I'll just find it. There it is. Yeah, so I guess that's the biggest photo I have that includes the gun. But yeah, those are actually like carved out wood grain lines. So they're not painted on, they're actually 3D. And then I did like a brown wash over it to fill in the detail. And it came out actually a lot better than I expected. So yeah, that was fun. All right, let's see. Elbow joints go there. What's next? I will, so everything I build, I plan to paint. Whether I actually get around to actually painting it or not is a different story, because I have a lot of projects that I want to paint and I don't have enough time to do them all. So yes, I do plan to paint this one, and I think when I do, I'll paint it in a non-traditional color scheme. I haven't thought a lot about exactly what that will be yet, although I do have some ideas, but not really enough yet to say definitely what I plan to do. But yeah, if I do that, it'll be probably 2 or 3 other projects before I get to this one for painting. So we'll have to see. It does seem like a very good kit to paint though. The part separation is really great, and even on the parts that I might want to add additional color separation. It seems like the panel lines and stuff are already quite good, so if you want to just mask those and paint, it shouldn't be too hard. So yeah, lots of good detail on it. Does this go this way or this way? It goes this way. This white part here I didn't have pushed down far enough, so that's why that wasn't fitting. Oh, I have a new camera trick too on the stream, which I don't think I've ever shown on the stream. I've only tested it before. So let's see if the new camera trick works. So if we want to, I used to zoom in this camera up here if we wanted to see something in more detail, but that becomes a problem because the zoom isn't great. And I decided that doing something like this, where I can just hold my phone up and use that camera, is much better for showing details, right? So even those tiny upper arm bits that I was just working on, we should be able to get it to focus on those. Yeah. So yeah, new camera trick. We'll see if we can find other reasons to use that in the future. All right, so it seems like this B runner is the one in real grade kits that is the pre-molded joint runner, and it's been getting smaller and smaller in more recent real grade kits, which is great because I never really did enjoy this type of a setup. The joints don't really hold their position after long amounts of time on some of the kits. So it looks like for this kit, only the arms, this is gonna be what, the upper arm shoulder area, and then this is obviously the forearm and the hand. Those are going to be the only ones, I believe, that the only parts of the kit that use this style of runner. So yeah, these are already pre-molded and bendable. And unfortunately, they put the nubs there on this part in a spot that's impossible to get at with my nippers, so we're going to use the knife. And that will be good enough. And we'll save that over here because I'll need it again. Right, so it wants me to bend this up this way. And this forward. Apple's continuity camera, yeah, it is the same idea, but since I have an Android phone, it's a third-party app. I forget what it's called. There are and have been multiple apps that do that, and then, you know, like all things, Apple decided to copy that good idea and make it an official part of their OS. That seems like what they do. All right, cool. So this only fits on one way, and I have to figure out what that one way is. It's sort of keyed, so it only fits in a certain way, and then you rotate it, there we go, to hold it in place. Oh, they want me to rotate it all the way around like this. Okay. That makes sense. I guess this bit will save for the left arm. Actually woke up this morning at 5 a.m. my local time because I'm crazy or something. I actually set my alarm to wake myself up at 5 a.m. so that I could watch World Cup soccer, because I had convinced myself that that particular game that was on at 5 a.m. this morning was important. It was Wales and Iran. And I'm not a fan of either one of those teams, but I am a fan of the US, and so I wanted to watch that game because it impacted how the US is doing in the tournament. And so now I'm starting to get tired already, but I really want to finish this, and so I'm going to try to finish this build on stream here before I completely fall asleep. I'm also just curious because I haven't streamed with this setup in ever actually, because I've changed a few things since the last time I streamed. So I'm curious to see that this is all working correctly. I think it is, based on looking at the stats down here on my screen. I was having bandwidth problems here in my garage studio, and so couple days ago, I woke up one morning and I climbed up in my attic and ran an Ethernet cable from the main part of the house out here to the garage, so that I'm not on Wi-Fi anymore, and that seems to have solved all the problems. So that's great. All right, I guess we save that hand for later. This one also is only going to fit a certain way, and then we rotate it into position like that. You know what? I wonder, since we're working with such small parts, we should try to zoom in a little bit. Maybe something like that. Sure. We need 11, 12, and 16. Somewhere over here. And I'm just saying this to remind myself, I have this part, which on the last stream I cut off the runner. I don't even remember what runner and what part number it is. But yeah, I cut that one off too soon. It turned out we did not need it. I think we were building the torso and I thought it was like the collar part that goes like sort of inside of the where the neck is, where the head attaches, and it turned out to not be that. So I've been carefully saving it here to the side, and hopefully we will, when we get there, figure out that that's the part we need whenever we find the spot that it really goes. All right, see, wow, got real quiet. I'm gonna see how these fit together. Oh, this slides underneath like that. Okay. That snaps on there. And then this goes a specific way, and that is this way. One of these days I'll figure out how to build and show this to the camera as I'm building without my fingers getting in the way of all the parts. All right, so that is the entire right arm, I suppose, except for the claw bit that attaches on the outside, and then the shoulder, which is what we're gonna do now. $17 is the other one we need. So there's the inner frame for the shoulder, which has lots of really nice detail on it. Hey, we should use the fancy camera. So, yeah. If you like to hand brush paint inner frame detail, this kit probably is one for you, because there's lots and lots of little vent detail and mechanical detail and all kinds of stuff on these parts. So yeah. All right, and then, as was the case with some of the other detail, they actually have stickers that came with the kit that you're supposed to put on some of this detail to color correct it anyway. If you want to do that sort of thing. So we've got these two little red detail bits, and then, yeah, I guess that's it off of the Red Runner for now. We'll go ahead and put those on before I get the rest of the parts that we need. All right, so these fit on here. You have to kind of separate them out and then push them together. So this one's the top and this one's the bottom. And they allow that gray stripe of the inner frame to show through between them. And then I assume the rest of the blue parts of the shoulders we'll grab in a second and put up on top there. I said blue, which is, I think, wrong, right? Because it's white that goes up there. I thought there was some blue detailed somewhere on here, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I guess I'm wrong. Because these little details that go on the front and back of the shoulders are also white. I should probably not admit this, but I am not as well versed and crazy about the God Gundam as many people are, especially here in the United States. I guess a lot of people grew up watching G Gundam on Toonami, and so have fond memories of the anime. I myself have never actually managed to watch all the way through it, because I don't like it as much as the other Gundam anime series that I've seen, which is pretty much all of them. So if you think I'm wrong, that's fine, but I don't like this one. However, this kit itself and the mobile suit design is very nice, and so while this Gundam has no like sentimental value necessarily for me, or I don't have fond memories of watching the anime itself or anything like that, I do appreciate the design of the Gundam and also the engineering of the kit. It's an amazing kit so far. So this snaps on here like so. This must go underneath. Oh, I see. It just fills in this square exposed part here. And it press fits in there? Yeah, it does. Interesting. And seems fairly solid too. Like that's not coming out. So cool. All right, and then this snaps on here. And then folds down like that. Yeah, so that can bend up just enough to see the vent detail underneath, which is probably why they had you put that silver sticker in there if you're putting on stickers. And then this one we will save for the other shoulder because this is the one we need for this shoulder. All right, so there's a shoulder. A couple things I noticed right away which are interesting. Besides like the slight little bits of articulation like that opening to reveal the vent underneath. The shoulder joint itself has, so if I bend the shoulder up and down like this, there's actually this little round bit right here snaps into a spot up there inside the shoulder. So if I push the shoulder down to its sort of fully out locked position, it actually snaps into place there. And then you have to pull on it a little bit to loosen it up, to move it up, which is, I think, really cool actually, because you won't accidentally bump the shoulder and push it out of place if you're trying to pose the kit. So that's cool. And we need to build the forearm claw thing. Do they have a fancier name than that? I don't know, because I haven't seen the anime very much. While I'm working on this, I keep looking over at the part that's already assembled that's sitting over here on the to the side on the desk and imagining color schemes. I'm thinking like dark, like a black and dark gray sort of scheme with either neon green or neon orange accents. I don't know if that will become my final decision or not, but that's what my brain is going with right at the moment. That's actually one of the reasons why I enjoy snap building my kits before I then disassemble and paint them. Because it gives me a chance to like spend a long time or a longer time than just looking at pictures with the actual pieces themselves, so I can kind of imagine modifications and color schemes and other things. I find that if I'm holding it in my hands versus just looking at pictures, at least for me, it helps my creative process quite a bit. All right, let us grab all of the rest of the parts to make this claw thing, because it looks like they might not, well, they're ball joints, so they might be okay. I was thinking you might want to assemble and then clamp the outer bits on there right away so that they don't all fall apart. So Let's just grab everything. We need 2 of these, yeah. Just making sure there's nothing else from here we need, and of course there are. So 35 and 33 are these 2. And 31 while we're here. Is that also a blue part? It should be. Oh, it's this very small part. I see. Yeah, let's try to not lose that one. So these are the 2 bits that go inside of those blue claw parts that we just cut out. And then both of these. All right, so I know this about my streams because I look at the analytics later on. I know that most people who watch on Twitch watch live, and most people who watch on YouTube watch later. So, if you're a YouTube person who's watching later, and you know what this claw thing I'm building is actually called, tell me in the comments down below, because I'm curious, and I'm too lazy to look it up online right now myself. All right, is that it? I think that's it. There's even molded detail on the back side, like the inside of these parts. I guess this little bit might sort of be visible when these things open up, but still, that's some serious attention to detail. always confuses me when I'm trimming nubs off of a part, and some parts only have 2 spots where they were attached to the runner, or even 1, but most parts have 3, and so my brain is just like, I go into autopilot mode and I'm looking for 3 things to trim, and when I only see 2, then I like have to pause and look around on the part to see if I missed one somewhere. And as I say that, these have 4, so yeah, make sure we get them all. And these yellow claw parts are, all 4 spots are on these are undergated, so if you're not gonna paint this and you're concerned about how it's gonna look from the outside, it's gonna look perfectly fine, no nub marks or anything. It's bugging me that I did not trim that one perfectly flat, so we're going to just fix it real quick. There we go. All right, and this pile of pieces will become the claw bit. Yeah, I think someday I'll definitely upgrade my camera, my main disc camera that's above my build desk here, to have some sort of optical zoom instead of the digital zoom that this one has right now, because it looks to me like when I zoom in, like it's currently zoomed in a couple of notches, it gets a bit blurry just because it doesn't have the resolution to work with. Maybe I'll go back out to that default zoom level. It looks, on my preview at least, it looks sharper that way. So we'll leave it there. All right, and all of these are now assembled, so let's put them together. Right, the small ones go down here. This way. Then the larger ones go up here. And then these parts go on the sides here to hold it all together. And they snap in nice and tight, which is good, I think, because that way these ball joints that these pieces are on are not going to fall off very easily. Yeah, they really do snap in there. It's going to be interesting when I go to disassemble it. I'm not sure. It'll probably be fine. And if anything loosens up from the disassembly, I can always glue those when I reassemble. So it's fine. They're not moving parts. And then this very small piece, that's interesting. So there's this one little articulating, I guess that makes sense because then the wrist will be able to swing up this way. Yeah, that makes sense. So these open up and out, I believe. Yeah, like so. All right, should we replace the hand that we took off? Oh, I see. There are a few other optional hands. Let's look at them now. First dropped runner of the day. All right, so we've got these open hands. I'll just grab the right hands for now since we're working on the right arm. So, open hand. The joint runner, the pre-molded joint runner came with this sort of fingers extended but together open hand. All right, then it looks like we've got a fist. And then also a holding hand. So we'll grab that one too, I guess, even though it's not here in the instructions. It's probably like later on when it's showing you about the weapons and beam saber and stuff like that. It probably has it there. But we'll grab that one too. We'll grab the backs of the hands that go with them. So this goes with that one. This goes with this one. Of course, if they've, yeah, looks like they've done, Bandai's done their normal thing that they've been doing lately with these types of hands where they have them keyed differently. So you can't put the wrong back of a hand with the fingers because they all have slightly different pegs to hold them together, which is helpful. And then the back for this hand is on a different runner. It's over here. Let's see. So this is for the open hand. We'll go ahead and grab that one first. Right, so here's one hand. And I usually, when I'm building these kits, I put the open hand on the kit at first. I don't know why that is. I think a lot of people put the fists on, but I tend to always put the open hands on until I decide how I want to pose the kit and what I want it to be holding. This kit, probably, given the subject matter and the style of kit that it is, and the seems like really good engineering that they put into how it articulates, should probably be posed in some sort of a martial arts style, I would imagine. Alright, so there's our holding hand. There's our fist. Open hand. For those who are curious to see those up closer, here we go. So we've got this fingers together extended hand, which was the one that came on the pre-molded joint style runner. And then we've got a fist and an open hand there, and then the one with the fingers extended and spread apart. Lots of good options, I think, for, yeah, pretty much everything you'd want. And I think both left and right, yes, both left and right have the holding hands, which is not always the case. Although lately with master grades and real grades, it has been. Cool. All right, so let's set these to the side and try to fairly quickly build the other arm, which I have parts already done. Actually, before we do that, I should show you how the elbow bend works. It seems quite good, actually. So this, the forearm's a bit bulky, and it starts to run into the shoulder when you bend it up too far. But it does have, so you're not going to get like a full 180 degree closure, but it's about as good as it possibly could be, given the bulk of the shoulder armor and the forearm stuff here. Seems solid. It's got a rotation point here, kind of at the top of the forearm, just below the elbow, and then, you know, the other standard one that's up at the top of the upper arm. So, and we already talked about how the shoulder kind of clicks in place so that it doesn't accidentally get pushed out of the way. So yeah, that seems good. Let's go to the B runner and grab both of these. All right, we're done with that one now, and throw it on the floor. Another thing about these real grade style inner frame runners is that the parts often have like little extra blemishes that aren't like full-fledged areas where they were attached to the runner, but they must be like injection points or something as part of the molding process. And so if you care a lot about making these things perfect, you end up spending a lot of time either scraping them with a hobby knife or sanding them. And sanding this type of plastic is always an interesting exercise as well, because it's a bit rubbery, the plastic they use for these. So all additional reasons I don't like this style of piece, but at least they're moving away from it. All right, this one bends this way. Just making sure to bend it both ways to be sure that it doesn't bind up, because sometimes that can happen as well. All right, so that's good. And then this one, we will remove the hand. And loosen that up. We'll need that later on, right? Nice. All right, so I am going to actually, let's put this on right now. And then, which way does it go? That way. And that way. Okay. Now I'm gonna go just grab all of the other parts we need. Assuming that I remember them correctly from having just built the other arm. All right, that should be all of them from that runner. Those, we need these two red parts that are the detail lines on the shoulder. What else? These yellow claw parts. And these blue parts here are for the forearm.
Don't cry.
Right? And claws.
Talk to me.
Nothing else here, as far as I can remember. Definitely need these for the inside of the shoulders. Shoulder, two parts, one shoulder. I guess I'll grab the rest of the hands as well. Oh, that might finish this runner off. Yeah, it looks like it will. All right, double checking. Yeah, everything's off of here, so that goes on the floor. And then we need these. And then a couple of those ball joint parts, right? That were at the, oh, we need the back of this hand. Yeah. And then like all four of those there, I think. That one almost jumped off the desk. That would have been terrible. Although at least I don't build over carpet anymore. I've built a couple of kits over carpet, and if you lose a part, you'll never find it. Especially if it's a small one like this. All right, so this pile of parts right here, I believe, is everything we need to build this other arm. However, before I build it, I'm going to take a short break because it's getting hot in here and I need to go adjust the air conditioning. So I will be right back. All right. That should solve the climate control issues, I hope. I'm still trying to figure out in this new-ish space, which is in my garage, but has a window-mounted air conditioning unit, how to manage the fact that it's getting cooler outside, but still not cool and especially dry enough to be comfortable in here without the air conditioning on. So it's really humid outside. All week long it's been humid outside here. And even though the temperature isn't bad in here, the humidity makes it feel hotter, or I guess kind of stuffy. Not necessarily hot, but definitely uncomfortable. I should probably take the opportunity to plug my YouTube channel, which, again, since most people who watch these streams later on, not live, watch them on YouTube, you probably already know about if you're watching it there. But it has grown pretty exponentially in the last couple of weeks. I would say 3 weeks or so. A bunch of people discovered a video that I made like a few months ago, talking about using Blender to model 3D add-on parts for Gundam kits to create like your own custom parts, and people had been asking for more of that type of content. So this past week, I guess it was last week, I released the first 2 of a series that I plan to do on that subject, using Blender to model custom 3D printable parts. So yeah, go check that out if you haven't. And also reach out and let me know if you have specific things that you would like to see me cover in that kind of a series. Because I have a list of about 5 or 6 more ideas, specific ideas for episodes that I will be making. I'm aiming for probably one every other week or so. They're fairly long episodes. They turned the first real project that we did, second episode, turned out to be like half an hour of edited content once I got it all edited down. So yeah, it takes a bit of work to put together, but I'm planning on trying to every other week or so publish a new one of those. So in about 2 months, my current list of ideas will be gone, and I'll probably come up with more ideas before that happens. But if you have something that you would like to see me build or model on such a series, let me know, and I will try to do it within reason, of course. So many very small gray parts. But I think we're almost done. Well, I don't know. There's what, like 8 or 9 left in the pile here. Oh no. I left a tiny bit of a nub there. Usually I just leave it at this stage because I'm gonna sand these things before I paint them anyway, but that one was in a spot that would have impacted the fit of the piece, so I have to either be more careful like I did with that one or go back and fix it so that everything fits together properly. See, I suppose I could have all the parts cut off of the runners and trimmed and ready to go before streaming, and I know others sometimes do that. But like that would take time ahead of time for me to prepare and be ready, and I'd rather just build and stream. So you get to watch me trim nubs for 5 minutes or whatever this has been, but don't worry, we're almost finished. Last piece. All right. Should I see if I can assemble this without the instructions? That seems dangerous, right? But I remember that this goes here, and this goes here, and then we put the 2 red detail parts on. like so, and then we build this little thing, which is the top of the shoulder. And let's see, this goes this way. And this one goes here. And this snaps in here. And on the other shoulder, it snapped in much easier. There we go. All right, and then we have the little tiny, oh, I set that aside, right? We cut this out early when we were doing the other side. So this little piece goes here. Right. And now maybe we get to the part that I can't remember how the rest of it goes without referring to the instructions. So maybe let's do that. Yeah, see, like already I forgot that this needs to go on here before we put this forearm piece on. And once again, that has to go a certain way and then pivot. There we go. All right, so that is better. This goes this way. Right? Yeah. And this goes this way, I think. Yeah, there's a little square there to let you know. Okay, perfect. And then the rest of this is all just the claw thing, right? That goes like this. I am doing this without looking at the instructions. You'll have to trust me, I guess, because the instructions are right here, so you can't tell for sure that I'm not looking, but I could have put them away, I suppose. All right, what else? Let's put these on the hands just so that they're out of the way. Let's go together, these go together. I forgot this piece, wherever it goes. Where does it go? Oh no, it's way up there, isn't it? That's all right, it still fits. You just slide this other thing out of the way. Yeah. All right. We did it. Cool. All right. So now these go like this. They go the opposite way because they need to be, they're not the same. So the little gray part at the top of these two yellow claws is slightly different for one side versus the other side. That way they sit closer together if you put them on the correct way. And they would sit further apart if you had them swapped. So what, this one goes on this side, right? No, this side. And I think I forgot to cut out the very, very small blue part that we couldn't find when I was doing the other arm. I like stared at the runner and couldn't find it. All right, there. So I almost did it. I just missed one part. And it is right here. snaps in right on the front of this blue piece, like so, and we'll get the open hand again. All right, so 2 arms. There they are. Move the instructions out of the way. There. Now they're more visible. And we have all these extra hands. And it is time to make the head next. However, I want to clean up these nubs, so let's see if my microphone picks this up. I don't know if it will. If it is, sorry, it's about to be loud. Ah, looks like it does not pick that up. Good to know. The microphone does not pick up the tiny nub vacuum. All right. So, if we thought that the rest of the kit had very tiny parts, then the head is going to be probably worse. Let's find out. I think it was the real grade Crossbone Gundam that had like the very tiniest parts in its head of any, I think any Bandai Gundam kit that I've ever built. That one's not mad. What else? So we need this one here, and I see these other 2 right here. They look like little tiny vents. I bet we need those later on. Yes, we do. So let's get them now. Alright, I am putting all of these parts right here in this dark gray stripe so that I will not lose them later. Probably lose them anyway. Let's see, we almost certainly need this one, and this one. And both of those, actually. So 1 through 5 off of this runner. Looks like is all that we need for the head. And I don't see any more parts on this runner that look like things we would need right now. So that'll be all of that. There's probably a yellow V-fin somewhere. Yeah, it's this very fancy one. Probably a clear part. Yep, it's down here. Is that it? There's probably not a back of the head camera clear part. So yeah, I think that's it. I just changed the blade on this hobby knife like last week. Pretty sure it was last week. It already feels dull. That's not great. Even those very tiny vent parts that go on the sides of the head were in one spot undergated. Alright, so we're going to take this very small pile of tiny parts and turn them into a Gundam head. Hopefully. We got one more clear one to trim here. I don't know if anyone else finds it difficult sometimes to trim clear parts. Like, it's hard to see where exactly to trim if you're trying to do it very precisely on a clear part without cutting off some of the part by accident. All right, so let's see this one and the red chin and this one here, I guess. Right, so these go together. And this fits in here like so. So that together forms the socket for the ball joint that's going to be the neck. And then we need our transparent bit. So this, it looks like from the instructions here that it's got stickers, optional stickers. That's like a single sticker for the eyes with the black frame around the outside, or you can choose to use separate stickers. Like there's a single sticker for eyes plus the outline, or there's separate stickers for each individual eye plus the black outline, if you want to do it that way. Or you can paint it. However, oh, see, it would make more sense if I did this correctly by putting the V-fin in first. I was thinking, why doesn't that fit? Well, of course it doesn't, because this goes here, and then the eyes go in here. This is a different style of head construction than I've seen. Interesting. I guess it makes sense because this Gundam's V-fin is kind of ornate and it comes out like lower, it seems, from the forehead. So they built that part all the way down and behind the eyes just to give it the stability and connection point that it needs. All right, so the face mask mouth part goes down here, of course. And then we're just putting the sides of the head on, right? Yep. Oh, interesting. They sort of wrap around the back here and snap in, and they're held in place by this detail that actually sticks out from behind the part. That's clever. It does make them a little bit fiddly and hard to assemble. A little bit. But once they snap into place, that's really good. Hey, thanks for the follow. Alright, so this is one of my favorite Gundam, especially real grade Gundam heads, that I've ever seen as far as how it's engineered. That was really cool, the way that fit together. Alright, and then we've got these vent pieces that go in the front here. And then this kind of forehead crown bit fits in just like so. Yeah, that's also tiny on camera. Let's see if we can... Here, I have an idea. We will get out the acrylic cube and place it on there. All right, so the thing that I was amazed about, if I can get the camera to focus, yeah, are those two darker gray little areas right there on the back side of that, on the back side of the head. And they are actually holding the sides of the head in place because it snaps kind of over them. And then these front vent parts fill in the extra space. So those are a separate piece. That's some crazy detail on a head that's this size at this smaller 1/44 scale. That's crazy. All right, I'm impressed. I suppose we should put the head and arms onto the torso. Yeah. All right, so there he is. I don't know if this camera will focus better or worse, but yeah, that looks really nice. I'm happy with that for sure. It's always weird for me because I build mostly master grade kits, and then I build something at a smaller scale like this, and I keep thinking it's so small. But for being so small, this one has so much detail. It really is, like, people are saying that real grade kits these days are like a mini master grade. This one definitely is. All right, I wanted to finish this thing on the stream, on this stream today, because I'd been waiting so long to finish building it. And so let's finish it. How long has the stream been going? Like an hour and a half. Okay, cool. So yeah, another half hour or so, or maybe even less. What we've got left is the core lander, right? Which docks right into the back right here. So we will set this off to the side and get started on that. All right, I'm ready now. Let's go. So this is going to be like probably all of the parts left on each runner that I pick up, right? So I might as well just cut these 3 parts off because they're the only 3 left on this runner. And then, as is tradition, double check, and then the runner goes on the floor. We can do the same thing with this one. I assume we're making 2 of these things, right? Yeah. Okay, and this is the part we accidentally trimmed earlier, or in another stream, I guess, even earlier than today. And I've been saving all this time to figure out where it goes. Now we know. All right, let's go ahead and put these together. Yeah. These must be the thrusters that go on the back of the core lander. And they go right here. All right. I'm just looking here and thinking I should just cut off all of these big blue parts because we need them all, right? Including these also, yeah? Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll need them eventually. These are the bits that hold together the wings, I think. So So let's just go ahead and get them as well. And probably we need some of these transparent parts too, right? So like this looks like a cockpit cover. Windscreen? I don't know what we call it. And then these here look like some sort of stand or something, probably for when it's not in the Gundam. So we'll leave those alone for now. And I guess I'll trim these. We're gonna need the big white parts for the wings shortly. We can build this main part of the vehicle first. And then we'll go get those. Trying to figure out the best angle to trim that. It didn't, yeah, I didn't want to accidentally cut into this little, there's a little ridge there. It's weird because usually it's pretty obvious when you pick up a part which direction you should trim each nub from. At least it becomes obvious to me after building a bunch of these things. But for whatever reason, that one part was like, wait, how do I turn this to make sure I trim this cleanly? All right. Let's see how far those parts get us. So we've got this one and this one. Does that fit that way? I believe it does. And then this fits on top. Like that. And this slides underneath here. Yeah, like so. We can snap this down now. So yeah, there's the pilot seat. It's molded in there. It's definitely not big enough to actually have any sort of seated pilot figure in it. There's not space to put any kind of a, like, even if you were gonna try to create your own or something, there's not enough space there. All right, and now we've gotten to the point where I am missing pieces that I did not cut out. So we need these two. And maybe that's it for now. For some kind of a small bug that keeps flying by in front of my face. Which the lights are kind of catching it as it flies by, just enough for me to notice and for it to be annoying. All right, let's start with this, looks like. And these are supposed to go a certain way. Oh, I see. Okay, and now this plugs onto the back of here. I did it upside down, didn't I? I most certainly did. Alright. See, that was the way I meant to do it all along. Alright, so that fits there. And then these are going to be where the wings attach. But we have to build them first. So it's got to be these, right? All 4 of these parts off of both runners that look like this. And then probably at least a couple of parts off of the off-white runner as well. Anything else on here? Oh, beam saber handles. I'll just grab them now. Because why not? We'll put those off to the side. But that finishes that runner. We can do the same thing here, right? This one we will put off to the side. And then these we need. Okay, and then this is empty, right? Yeah. So let's see, this off-white runner has these 2 parts. We probably need these 2 parts? Yes. Double checking with the instructions, we definitely need these 2 parts. And there's nothing left on this runner. The box is getting empty. The floor is full of finished runners. And the box has, what, like 3 things left in it? Why do I have an extra square vent? Did I miss a square vent on the back of here? I don't think I did. Alright, we're saving this one. That might be an extra part that you don't use. Let's see. Nope. So we will need it eventually somewhere. Or else we already needed it and I missed it. Which I suppose could be also the case. We'll find out later. Oh, that was terrible. That's better. This is some interesting, like, piano jazz style music playing. I feel like we're in Gundam Thunderbolt now. What is this song? I'm just curious. Huh. Okay. Oh, I had something exciting happen earlier today that I was not expecting. We heard the FedEx truck out in front of the house, and it sounded like they had come to the front door and dropped something off, and I was not expecting anything from FedEx, and my family was not, nobody in my family was expecting anything either. So I was a little puzzled, but I went to the door, and it was a box from Bandai. So one of my favorite things about ordering from Premium Bandai is that it takes them so long to deliver stuff, right? You order it and then like they ship it 3 months later or whatever. That by the time it arrives to me, I've completely forgotten that I ever ordered it most of the time. And so I wasn't quite sure. I was like, oh, this box is from Premium Bandai, but I don't remember what it was. So then I get to open it and be surprised at what I bought. It was a Master Grade Hazel and just a Cannon as well. So 2 more Master Grades for the backlog that eventually we will build, probably here on stream. So we'll have to see when I can schedule those in. I think that my plan going forward is going to be, once I get back on a more normal streaming schedule, that's been messed up the last couple weeks and will probably continue to be messed up for the next couple of weeks because of the World Cup, right? I'm a huge soccer fan, and so I want to watch a ton of the World Cup games, and because of that, they take the time when normally I would be streaming on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. And so anyway, once we're finished with that and we get back to a more regular schedule, I think my plan is going to be to stream Monday and Wednesday my longer term projects, so things like scribing and painting and things like that on right now the high grade Penelope Gundam is the one that I'm building. And then on Fridays I will do just snap build streams like this one. Of, you know, whatever is in my backlog that I want to build next. So that's where some of those new kits will eventually show up in those streams. Yeah, so that is the plan. We'll see if I can stick to it. Like I said, the next couple of weeks is going to be strange because of wanting to watch soccer games that happen to be on during the daytime, because of where the World Cup is being held this time. I'm not actually looking at the instructions. I'm assuming that I know how to put these together. It seems like I'm doing it correctly, so That's good, I guess. All right, so we have those 4 bits. And then, oh right, we're missing the red parts that go in between. So let's grab those. All right, and Red Runner is empty, so it can go on the floor. We should have a floor cam that shows the runners piling up. That would be fun. And also a huge waste of a camera, so probably won't do that. All right, and so these just go together like this, right? Do they go a certain way? Yes, they do. Because you want this detail, that's this line detail here, to line up around both sides. Oh, also the pegs are 2 different sizes, so it would be impossible to put it together the wrong way, looks like. Well, maybe not. Let's see, just because I'm curious. Yeah, it would sort of fit together that way, but it wouldn't line up right, so you'd know. All right, so now we can put these things together. Right. Let's make sure that I do the correct side. With the correct orientation. So those 3 go that way, and then this part goes on the bottom. That's that side, and then the other side goes this way. Did I do that one backwards? No. Fine. This one I'm doing backwards. See, I felt like one of them was backwards. All right. This is going to make a lot more sense then. All right. So those are mirror images of each other. Right, if they were bent the same way, sure. All right, put these together like so. And this can go here. And there. All right, so there is our core lander. It's nice. There's tons of detail here on the dark blue section, like some vent detail on the back and whatever. So again, if you wanted to either hand paint that or carefully mask and paint it with an airbrush or something, you could definitely do that, and it would pick out a lot of that detail. The underside has a little bit of like a hollow, well, I was going to say a hollowed out section, but it's kind of needed for the rotation of those wing parts. So it's fine. Yeah. And then to dock it into the back of the Gundam itself, it's just as simple as that. and then it just plugs in like this. Right? Yeah. So there that is. It's nice and solid. It's not gonna accidentally fall out or anything like that. So that's good too. All right, what else? Well, there's these two beam saber handles that we already cut out. And the beam saber effect parts that came with this kit are these, which are not your standard beam saber shape. They're more like the blade of a katana type of a shape. So they're flat and slightly curved upwards. I'll put one in a handle in a second here, so you can see what that looks like. Right, so just like that. And I'm sure that the holding hands that we saw earlier will hold these just fine. And then the handles themselves, when they're not being used, just clip into these little round attach points on the sides of his hips. Fold this out of the way. They just kind of slide in from the top, I think. Oh, they want us to slide it in from the... Oh, I see. Nice. Okay. So there's actually, like, on the edge of the handle here, there's a little kind of a notch that fits into those side skirt holders perfectly. So again, those, once you get them in there, are not going anywhere. That seems to be a theme with this kit, right? Everything is really solid and well thought out as far as how it attaches. I like it. All right. What else? It's showing us about holding hands here in the instructions, which we've already built. Some other articulation types of gimmicks. And then we've got these hands, right, that we didn't look at yet, that are molded in the gold color. It's a very glossy, orangish kind of gold. I think the camera's doing a pretty good job of reproducing the actual color. At least that it looks pretty close to me on the preview on my screen. So yeah, there's those, and then there's these things here, which are, let me turn the page and be sure. Yeah, so they are the holders for the ring effect that can go behind him. I'm not going to get that out. I'll show it to you, but I'm not going to take it out of the plastic because I don't want it to get scratched or covered in dust or damaged in any way before I use it in the final pose that I'll do, because I will probably pose it with this in the end, but again, I want to wait till after I've painted it. So I am going to cut these parts out, these clear ones here. You know what? I'm going to leave them because I need to save this little round. If you remember, the green piece here in his chest has that clear round piece that fits into it. but we left that out when I was building that section because it would have been impossible to take out without scratching or damaging it later when I do the painting. So I'm actually going to save this clear part of the runner, which doesn't want to break off easily, so I'll just do that later. But I'll save that bit and till after I'm done with the disassembly and painting. But otherwise, we finished the yellow runner, and we do have one leftover square vent, which I think went on the back of the leg, now that I'm remembering back to the rest of the build, which was a while ago, a couple weeks ago at this point. But I think I remember having a piece like that on the back of the leg when I was building the leg, so we probably just forgot it. I forgot it on the second leg when I was building that one quickly. So in just a second, I will page back through the instructions, double check to see if that is in fact where that piece goes. And maybe we can remedy it, or maybe I will just leave it alone and remember to put it back on when I reassemble the kit later after painting. Depending on how hard it is to get to that part. If it requires a lot of disassembly of the existing leg, then I'm not going to mess with it today. But we'll look and see so that we know for sure. This very glossy orangish gold plastic also has an interesting feel to it. It feels super slick. The texture on it is definitely different from all the rest of the plastic in the kit, let's say. And those backs of the hands are undergated in all the spots that where a nub mark would show, so that's really good too. All right, I think the backs of these hands are all the same between the three hands, so I don't have to worry about which one fits where. Nice. Yeah, so left and right, and then just a right hand for that one. And that goes with our pile of all of these other extra hands. Is that all of them? Yeah. So that's a lot of extra. And then, yes, this part here. Let's go see. It's not that. I could just look at the number on the runner and remind myself where it's 12. Right, so quick glance through the instructions and I do not see it. That doesn't mean that it doesn't go somewhere. I think it probably does. So I will obviously save that and figure it out later. See, I thought it was one of these. There's a vent underneath if you fold open the back of the leg here. And there's a little square vent down inside there. I thought it was the rectangular cover for that. Oh, it's the rectangular cover for the vent above it. Well, now we know. And I think I can sneak it in there, so let's do that. See if I can do it without taking this white part off that's the back of the leg. We'll just use a beam saber to push it into place. Maybe. Yep. All right, that took care of it. So now we have no leftover parts, which is how it should be, right? Especially with a new kit that's not reusing runners from somewhere else. So yeah, I think he looks pretty nice. Let's go grab the nice close-up cam. So yeah, I love the color separation between the white and the off-white, especially on the legs, but everywhere else on the kit too. Yeah, they did a really good job, I think, with this kit, with all of the details, even on the head, which we showed a little while ago. Tons of detail and color separation in there. And then the back. And obviously we could fold out the wing things on the backpack. Spread these out like so. Yeah, super good articulation. The knee bend is great. The ankles seem really good. The torso even has a nice crunch forward and back to it. So I think you could get this guy into all of the kung fu style poses that you might want to display him in for sure. Yeah, seems cool. I like it. As far as future plans for this guy, as I said earlier, definitely a non-traditional paint scheme of some kind. And I am liking the idea of a very dark, like black and dark gray type color scheme for most of the armor, with some sort of bright accents, like a neon green or a very bright blue or orange or something like that. I've done dark gray with orange before, and that's a combination I like, but since I've done it before, I might not do that again with this one. Yeah, I might go with like a neon green or an orange or a blue, maybe like a neon or sky blue. We'll see. But for now, I think that'll do it for this build. I'm gonna put him back in the box, or maybe on the display shelf there behind me, if there's space, and wait until I have a chance to do the disassembly and paint. But that'll be, like I said earlier, after a few of the other projects that I've got currently in progress are completed. So yep, there we go. Real Grade God Gundam. That was a fun build for sure. If you have a chance to pick it up, I definitely would. The only thing is there are quite a few very, very small parts. So if you have trouble with small parts, or you don't enjoy that, which I know some people don't, then that's something to be careful about. But the build itself, the fit of everything, and the engineering of the kit, and then just how it looks when you're done, all really, really good. So yeah, highly recommended. That is it for me. I will see you guys next time. Probably back to work on the high grade Penelope Gundam, which needs some masking and painting of the Odysseus Gundam that goes inside of all the Penelope armor. And once we finish that, the outer armor's all done. So it's just waiting to all be assembled together. And I can't wait to see how that one looks, because the individual parts are starting to look really cool as I've built sort of those main sections of it. I just haven't seen it all together yet. So yep, that's it for me. hope you had a good Thanksgiving. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, hope you have a good day and a good weekend. It is Friday, at least for me. So the weekend is pretty much here by now. So yeah, that's it. Real Great God Gundam, fun build. I will see you next time.